Hi, and welcome back to this second hour of this Monday edition of Focal Point on AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name, your congenial, convivial, and amiable host. As always, the program is Focal Point. Just want to remind you about the upcoming Heart Cry for Revival Conference at the Billy Graham Training Center at the Cove in Asheville, North Carolina. Spectacular place for a seminar if you've got a heart for revival. I just spent the weekend over in Florence, Alabama, Muscle Shoals Highland Baptist Church with people from all over northern Alabama deeply concerned about revival. They want spiritual awakening to occur. If that's on your heart, you might want to think about going to this Heart Cry for Revival Conference. It'll be April 22 through 25th at the Cove, Billy Graham Training Center. You can register by going to heartcryforrevival.org. Opportunity to meet with other spiritual leaders who are pledged to bring revival and spiritual awakening to America. It can light a fire in your own heart. Again, that's heartcryforrevival.org. Let's grab a quick phone call. Let's go to Jerry, Little Rock, Arkansas. Jerry, thank you for calling and thanks for waiting. What's on your mind?
Well, I'd like to give you an update on the 12-week heartbeat abortion bill that Arkansas passed.
Yes, sir.
In 90 days after the session, it'll go into effect. But the big bully, ACLU, has already said they're going to sue. And then our Attorney General is a liberal Democrat, so I don't know how that's going to come out.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's always a problem in these things. And, you know, you knew this was coming, especially with a 12-week bill, which Arkansas passed over the governor's veto. Which is a pretty cool thing, Jerry, to see the legislature. The governor tried to stop this thing. He tried to stop the 20-week abortion bill, and they overrode his veto. So,
right.
Yeah, all right, Jerry, listen, appreciate the call. So the point that Jerry's making here very clearly, if you've got the legislature in the state of Arkansas overrides the governor's veto twice, first of all on a fetal pain bill, if the baby can feel pain, which we know they can do after 20 weeks of gestation. And by the way, you know what medical science indicates is that they feel pain more intensely at 20 weeks than they do later because there's some kind of system in the human body that kind of modulates pain, moderates pain, and that protective mechanism is not in a baby when its nervous system first develops the capacity to experience pain. So it's entirely likely, in fact probable, that a baby at 20 weeks when it's being aborted in his mother's womb feels pain more intensely than the baby would if it had occurred at a later stage of development. And so the Arkansas legislature passed a bill. We are not going to subject an unborn baby to the pain of being dismembered in the womb of its mother. So when a baby can feel pain, we know what happens at 20 weeks. No abortions after that date. Governor vetoes it. Goes back to the legislature. They override the veto. It's got an emergency clause in it, so it goes into effect immediately. Then, right on the heels of that, they send a 12-week abortion bill, which says no baby can be aborted once you can detect its heartbeat on a monitor. That happens at the latest at 12 weeks. It can happen much earlier in pregnancy than that, but at the latest, you can detect the heartbeat at 12 weeks. And so they say, look, if you can detect a heartbeat, that means there's a living thing in there. There's a living human being in there. We are not going to stop a beating heart. We know if you've got a heart that's beating and you kill it, you are killing a living thing. It is a living human being. We're not going to let you do that in the state of Arkansas. And the governor of Arkansas, Mark Beebe, said, look, I don't care. I don't care if abortion stops a beating heart. I don't care if abortion kills a human being with a beating heart. I don't care if an abortion kills a baby that can feel pain. That's what he said about the 20-week bill. So he vetoed it. And again, the Arkansas legislature overrode the veto, said, no, if you can detect the heartbeat of a baby, we are going to protect that baby. That would take care of a vast majority of abortions. And they overrode the governor's veto, but ACLU stepped right in there, as is their custom, and they're going to file suit to try to stop that thing in court. Again, you know, the question is becoming, are we a self-governing people or not? Are we a people that are governed by our elected representatives, or are we people that are governed by tyrannical judges wearing black robes? Now, we're getting ready right now. The people of New York are getting ready to have to adjust tomorrow to Governor Bloomberg's ban on 17-ounce sodas. Now, remember, these are the people that say you can't legislate morality. But what's the mayor's whole deal? Mayor Bloomberg, his whole deal, this is right, It's good for you. We are just thinking of what's best for you. This is morally right. You're obese. You're fat. You're overweight. You're drinking too much pop. We have a responsibility to protect you from yourself. So we're going to ban 17-ounce sodas. We are imposing our morality on you. So let's get rid of this absolute nonsense that you can't legislate morality. That's all that people on the left are trying to do. They're just legislating and imposing their moral values on the rest of us. Now, here is Mayor Bloomberg on one of the Sunday morning talk shows yesterday talking about his glorious, benighted moral vision for the poor peasants under his charge. Let's listen.
This is in the country's interest. This year, for the first time in the history of the world, more people will die from too much food than from too little food. More people will die from the effects of obesity than from starvation. And we've got to do something about this. This is going to bankrupt the country. Our medical system cannot handle it. Being overweight is the first time it's gone from a rich person's disease to a poor person's disease. We've just got to do something. And all we're doing in New York is reminding you that it's not in your interest to have too many empty calories. You can have some. If you want to have 32 ounces, just buy two 16-ounce cups. Take them back to your seat. If you want 64 ounces, take 4 cups back. But what's likely to happen here is you'll take one and probably not come back for the second. But it's totally your choice. We're not banning anything. It's called portion control. It's a typical ways that companies use to and governments use to explain to people what's in their interest and what isn't. Every food manufacturer and soft drink manufacturer, they have portion control. What they're trying to do is to maximize their profits, and what government's trying to do is to inform you that if you're overweight and you have all these empty calories and you keep eating, that your health is going to suffer and you will live a not as healthy and a shorter life.
So that's,
in America, you have a right to be stupid.
So that's Mayor Bloomberg exercising John Kerry's constitutional right to be stupid. He says, we're not telling you what to do. We are just explaining to you what's in your best interest. But he's not explaining anything. He is denying people the liberty to purchase a soda that's bigger than what he thinks they ought to be able to drink. He says, we're just trying to inform you. That's not what they're doing. They're banning 17-ounce sodas. There's no information here. This is just tyrannical, dictatorial banning of a perfectly legal product. Let me grab that story about these New York businesses and what they're having to deal with. There's a bowling alley. Get this. There's a bowling lounge. Now, you take your family bowling, you might want to get a pitcher of Coke to go with your hamburgers or your pizza or whatever they serve there. And you can't do that anymore. Families cannot go to a pizza joint and get a pitcher of Coke. What they're going to have to get at this bowling alley, are you ready for this, are pitchers of carrot or beet juice. Now, if your family's like mine, hey kids, let's go bowling and drink beet juice. That's not going to be a big seller, but that's what they're left with in New York, imposing their morality on the rest of us. Focal Point AM for Talk.
Here's Twyla